Good morning, ITA page. My name is Marissa, and today I'm going to give you a look around Suzhou. I'm from New York in the United States, and I have been in China since April of 2019. I have plans to stay here for at least a while, so I think I can give some good insights for living and teaching here.
We are now at Renminqiao South Station. Doors open on the left.
That building there is probably what you will see on most postcards and photos of Suzhou. This is Suzhou Center. It's the biggest, well, not the biggest, but the most well-known shopping mall in the city. I don't really know what's in this arch, probably some office buildings. On the subject of expensive districts, money actually does play a role in what kind of students you're going to be teaching. My boyfriend and I both have a contract with the same company, but we're teaching at different campuses. Mine is in this district, which is the fancy bougie district in the center of the city, and his is in one of the southern districts. The quality of students that we get now and the ones that are interviewing for our programs, there is a stark contrast. And it's a global concept that if you are in an area with more money, likely you're going to have higher scores on things. But there are some other students who maybe are brilliant English speakers you'll find in a district that doesn't have as much money. And you'll find some in a district like this whose parents have so much money that they can send their child almost anywhere even though they speak zero English. So none of my other colleagues are here. I think they all decided that they'd rather come and pack up tomorrow. Here is my desk with my coffee supplies and also a student project from our literature study of Charlotte's Web. Note that this should be an S, but you know, they put a lot of effort into it. This is probably one of the nicer projects that I've gotten from students. My contract says ACED, International Education Group, but more often they affiliate themselves with Kent School in Canada. After finishing 11th grade in China, our students go here to study for 1 year so they can get a Canadian high school diploma and then get better acceptance into university. Finding kindergarten jobs, fairly easy. Finding high school jobs, oof. But I did find this one on teachaway.com. The other best way to find jobs is direct recommendation. You get a direct recommendation from someone who works at the school you want to be at. They talk to their HR, you got a job. You can, but you need to stay up to date on what's medium and high risk areas. If your city suddenly becomes medium or high risk, then basically your chances of travel are out for the next few weeks. But I will say my partner and I just returned from Sanya, which is Chinese Hawaii, no problems. This depends on what kind of job you've got and what kind of school you are. I'll talk about that in a later slide. For me, I just got this book. They said teach it, and there are no resources online, and it's also harder to find it for English learners specifically, so keep in mind though that I signed up to be a literature teacher because I like books. But if you're doing ESL teaching position, there are so many resources online. You can just pull something together at the last minute. But if you want to do like literature teaching or biology or if you want to teach some other subject that you're interested in, ITA prepares you really well. Like you got that lesson plan format. Also, great thing about China, classes are only 40 minutes, so that makes it much easier to put together a lesson. Lisa, she's the HR of our school, and she's going to answer the question about letting other workers from outside of China come into China for work. Lisa, are schools hiring people from outside of China to teach?
Yes.
What is the process for somebody outside of China to come here to teach?
If their documents are all ready, we can just apply for the work permit notice, which will take around 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm still not used to this after 4 years, but usually it comes from younger children and older folks, and they'll just shout "Wagwan" loudly from across the street or next to you or whatever. But if that's the biggest con to living here, I mean, you're still living a pretty good life. So in the subway video, you'll notice that it's also translated into English, so you can tell which stop you're getting off at next. All businesses will generally have at least one English speaker on staff. If not, they're very patient with using translation apps, which is sometimes better. I I've studied Chinese before, so that does help a bit with daily life, but in quite a few situations, it's better to just go directly to a translation app so you can understand everything that's being said. If you speak a little bit, the locals will assume that you know everything, and they'll speak at 100 miles a minute, not give you a chance to process what they're saying. Absolutely, yes. I recommend Astral. That's the one I have now. Apartment tour. Here's our balcony where we obviously do laundry. Our living room, which is taken up by our cat towers. We're the fluffy babes. That's Demon. That's Coco. Both of them are rescues. We found them when we first moved to China. This is a 3-bedroom apartment. We only have 2 humans living here, so the third is kind of just our litter room and a storage room. Second one we are using as an office space. Kitchen is in here, bathroom, and bedroom. Yes, but it can be in anything. Mine is in international relations. There are potentially some places that will say we can get you around it, but don't mess with those, and also do not mess with employers that tell you to come in on a tourist visa. Always get the Z visa. Just don't play games. Also, on the subject of visas, paperwork, what are the requirements for working here? This is a longer discussion that I can't fit here, but you can message me personally. There are a lot of questions that you should be asking to future employers. You can't just automatically trust certain things. Sometimes there are some employers who will be a little deceptive when it comes to paperwork, and some of them are new to their job and just genuinely don't know about the foreigner hiring process. So if you have questions about that, ask. If you're going somewhere that's a bit far, or if you just want something that's air conditioned besides the subway, then you can take a ride share. We don't have Uber, but there is Didi. However, most of you who haven't been in China before won't be able to download Didi now because they're not accepting new users. But AMAP, AMAP, is one of the applications. You can access it through WeChat as a mini program, and it might also be on the App Store. You can use that as an option. The wind went from 0 to 100 really quick. We're going to this place. When I was originally doing my TEFL stuff, I really wanted to go to the Middle East, but it's really hard to get something there if you don't have a background in education. China, lots of money, and I studied here in 2017 for 1 semester, so I'm a little bit familiar with language and daily things. If you're teaching in China, most likely you're going to be in a big city. That's either a pro or a con, depending on how much you can handle. Other pros are it's very convenient because everything is done through some specialized app, and it makes it easy even for people who don't speak the language. We're doing some quick grocery shopping because we're gonna go do a little staycation tomorrow. Suzhou has a really nice mountain range, and there's a homestay there that we went to once before, and it's very nice. So stocking up on the snacks and drinks.